I just got back from the early screening of Michael. Here's what happened. So quick story. I didn't know I was going. Someone was like, "Yeah, I got you some passes." Really? Threw this on. Um, I tried to put some makeup on. I did the best I could do. And I went. You know, I had been debating if I was gonna see the movie or not. I'm glad I went. uh, the movie wasn't that bad. I was thinking it was gonna be bad. If you decide to see Michael, have low expectations. That's the only way this movie's gonna be good. There was lots of authenticity. They clearly filmed it at their home, the family home. Um, there was some authenticity there. Wasn't a lot. Um, let's start with some things I liked. I think that some of the things that happened in the movie, Michael would have done. Michael would have said, "Yeah, no, I want this to be this way." Because for me, I like to see things exactly the way it was and all of that. But the truth is, Michael was an artist, so they did honor some of his artistry. Now, as far as every little detail, I don't know about that. The things I'm talking about in particular are the gangster scenes with the Crips and Bloods. It looked like they went out and they got them some real Crips and Bloods. Dance. And I know a little bit about that culture, just a little bit, no lie. And that some of that was very authentic, and I think they honored Michael by doing that. So, as far as the little boy who played Michael Jackson, I see why he got the part. At first, because that's one of the first things you see when the movie comes on. Excuse me. And at first I was like, he don't look like Michael Jackson, but I see it. I see why he was chosen, and I think Michael would be proud. I think Michael would be proud. Crowd. I think Michael would be proud. So, as far as his nephew's performance, here's the thing, and people may not like this. Let me get this out of the way, because a lot of people, he looks exactly like. No, he doesn't. First of all, he has a lot of the facial features of people in his family. There are times when he's performing where he looks just like Marlon. And there are other times when he's performing, he looks just like Jermaine. Okay? So, he don't look exactly like Michael. Does he look enough like Michael to be in the movie? Yes. But there's one thing about his part that I have to speak about. And that is Michael Jackson was fine. That man was fine. He wasn't just the biggest entertainer in the world just because he can sing and dance and write and compose and his creativity and all of that. That man was sexy. He was sexy. He was fine. As far as his personal life and who he decided to give it to and all that, that's fine. But when you see Michael, you like, right? So, that needs to be said. Does he have the Jackson features? Yes, he does, because he's related to him. Does he look exactly like Michael? No. And I think that they could have improved it. They could have improved on it. Because I think they focused too much on getting the hair just right, or getting something that he did just right, other besides, when they should have focused on, well, what looks best on him, what looks best on Jafar, and let's make him his own Michael. There needed to be more scenes where he looked more like himself playing Michael Jackson, or his own inner Michael Jackson, but still being Jafar, because I feel like it was too much of them trying to make him look like Michael Jackson, and that took away from Jafar's beauty, and it downgraded a little bit of Michael Jackson's memory, because they tried a little too hard with that. Jafar is attractive in his own way, but it wasn't showcased well. I think another criticism is, I think they filmed some scenes too soon. I think that they should have waited. Yes. My favorite color is pink. Yeah. So, some of the fans, another criticism, some of the fans are extras in the movie. In the last scene, which is a concert, only one of them looked like an authentic fan. Like, most of them just looked like they were happy to be on camera. I mean, it is a movie. Excuse me, but, to me, it was like a letdown a little bit. I have another serious criticism. My favorite movie, I'll think about that in a minute. Probably The Wizard of Oz, but as far as I forgot what I was gonna say. That's why I didn't want to answer your question. I don't want to lose my train of thought. Oh yeah, so my biggest problem with the movie. Okay, so here's a good aspect and here's a negative aspect. The positive aspect is the movie is about Michael, okay? And more so what he was going through, what he was dealing with at these particular times in his life. And more so how we see them. I don't think it would have been appropriate to just vilify everyone, So the movie is about Michael and not about his brothers or sisters or parents. The movie's about him. So you get a lot of dialogue from him and his driver or assistant. Excuse me, I don't remember his name. Hi. Excuse me. Do you remember the guy's name? His assistant?
Bodyguard, Bill.
Bill. He was a bodyguard? That man wasn't no bodyguard. Bodyguards drive you around and they shop for you and they hug you and kiss you when you're feeling lonely. There was none of that in the movie. I just want to know for my bodyguard's sake. A chauffeur, yeah, he was a chauffeur. So bodyguards chauffeur you around. Anyways, so nobody's laughing at me no more, so I knock it off. But it was mostly dialogue between him and his bodyguard, and that's good. That's a good thing because this is about Michael. So he spent time talking to his bodyguard. Excuse me. However, there needed to be more dialogue between him and his brothers. He didn't just sit up in that house hiding from his brothers. Talking to his pets, yes. Talking to his mom, yes. Avoiding his dad that gave him whoopings, yes. But never talking to your brothers at all. They gave him like 2 lines. So, yeah. I just believe they talked more often.
He talked to Latoya a little bit.
He did talk. There was a scene where he talked to. There were two scenes. So in the beginning, Latoya said something, or either was seen. In the middle, Latoya was sitting in the room with Michael. I don't even know what she said. First of all, the lady that plays Latoya is absolutely. She looked absolutely beautiful. Latoya had on the head thing. Yeah, like they talked, and I'm sure they had meaningful conversations about what was going on. That needed to be in the movie. And they alluded to some things, like Marlon, he did the splits with Michael, and then later on in the movie, you see them do the splits together again. But that needed that needed to be explored. I'm sure he was close with all of his brothers and all of his siblings. I'm sure he had beef with some of his siblings, but let's not downgrade the Jackson 5 to like one-liners. I'm sure his brothers Marlon, Jermaine, and Tito, and Jackie, and Latoya didn't just say one word to him from 1969 to 1989. Okay? Yes, they had to talk way more than that. And I feel like it's a disservice to Michael. Now, of course, when you look at the executive producer, that first executive producer name that come up, oh, he had all the lines in the movie. He had all the lines in the movie. Right? So, yeah. Some things were disappointing, but if you want to see a movie that's about Michael Jackson, this is it. Now, as far as Jafar's dancing, as far as him dancing exactly like Michael Jackson, though, in the beginning you see the real Michael Jackson. I know Michael when I see him. His feet was in the beginning of the movie. I recognize his feet. His show, like Jafar, definitely has some bone structure and all of that, like his body, similar to Michael's. All right, let me get this out. Jafar has a nice butt. Okay, Michael had a nice butt. He has a nice butt. Two different kinds of butts, but it has to be said. Somebody has to say it. No, I feel like there was some inspiration. So to answer your question, no. Yes and no. There was clearly some inspiration there. There clearly was some inspiration there. And you gotta remember, Jermaine Jackson produced that movie. And he was an executive producer here. So there's something there. So there are small similarities. There are some same lines. There were some lines that mirrored the movie. Probably because it was based off of real life. Excuse me. Oh, I took my ring off. I wanted y'all to see my ring. I'm on live. Anyway, there's someone in here being disruptive. Anyway. So, I mean, here's the thing. Oh, yeah, so Jafar's dancing. Does he have the moves down? Yes, he does. Yes, but as far as it being 100% Michael, no. There were some scenes where that probably wasn't his best performance, and they left that in there. But the good thing is you get the point, so you know that what moves he's trying to do. I do think that they may have filmed some scenes too soon. So I'm an actress myself, Sometimes they film the worst possible scene first. Sometimes you're not ready for that scene. You thought you came and you thought they were gonna perform this scene. Then the last minutes they say, "Oh no, we can't film that scene today. Can you please come to this studio?" Excuse me. And you know what I'm saying? And so I think that some of the scenes we saw at the end of the movie were filmed first. Oh yeah, that's good. I would imagine so because you do DJing and other aspects and you do podcasting, so it makes sense. But oh yeah, see, exactly. People do that. Sometimes people use your worst take, and this is. I'm not saying this is the case here, but sometimes people do publish your worst take. And that's not always the actor's fault. And I do believe sometimes actors, they get the root of it. People think, oh, they can't act when really you may have just coughed like I just did or something. And then they put that in the movie. It's like, why did they do that? Sometimes it's because they hate you. So, but yeah, some of I feel like some of the dance sequence at the end of the movie could have been more refined. It looked like they filmed it too soon for me. That's what I see when I see it, because there were other scenes in the movie where it looked more perfect and it looked more perfected and the moves were more natural. Shit, I was dancing in the theater. I didn't stand up and dance. I started to because there wasn't a lot of people in there because I saw an early screening. And there was plenty of space to dance. Yeah, I started to. I wanted to. And I'm going to see it again. I wanted to dance, but I was dancing in my chair. I was like, hey. You know, so excuse me. So yeah, so all in all, it was a good movie. I won't give it a 5. I'll give it a 4. Because I think that they did honor some things that Michael would have wanted. I think he would have been proud of the little boy. I think the little boy is more so how he sees himself or how their family might see them rather than how everyone else in the world sees them. So he didn't look, and another thing, I don't know if they did this on purpose, but little Michael did not look happy at all throughout the whole thing. They showed a picture of him while Jafar was playing Michael. That was not a smile. And they're like, I wonder how conscious that was. Excuse me. But I do think that's something that was done that was probably done intentionally. I'm more 50-50. I think they either went with that or maybe they didn't know. But yeah, there were things about this movie that was just so good, and as far as it being an entertaining movie. And also the subject of the movie is good. But the brothers and the sisters, they needed more lines. I'm sure Michael Jackson loves his siblings. I'm absolutely sure. I can guarantee you Michael Jackson loves Tito. Oh my God, you do? I have one too, but I think you're talking about school. Good luck on your exam. I have to go to the dentist. I really don't want to go. I really don't. Good luck. Yeah, see everybody in the comments wishing you good luck. So yeah, it was a good movie. Just don't go in with high expectations. You're welcome. Don't go in saying thinking you're gonna see like a reflection of Michael. Don't go in thinking about all that. It's one of those things. It is what it is. Some of the casting decisions are like, you could have did a better job. Oh, I will say, there are some very beautiful. There were 3 beautiful women in the movie. The woman who plays Suzanne Dupass is very beautiful. Suzanne Dupass is very beautiful, but she don't look like that. Suzanne Dupass has blonde hair. Yeah, exactly. And you're right. You're right to do that. But she's beautiful. Now, I'm skipping over one, but the lady that played the secretary, she came in there with that pretty face. I said, I want that to be me. I want to be pretty and stick my head in the door, and all you see is this beautiful. I want to do that. I want to do that. That woman was absolutely beautiful. She was stunning. She was gorgeous. That's gonna be hard to do. I don't think people have enough sense to do that again in another movie. It is only gonna happen in a Michael Jackson movie. So anyway, uh, yeah. So Latoya. Excuse me. I just scratched. Latoya is very. Her character is very pretty. You can kind of tell that's Latoya too. So they did a good job. But everybody was not casted perfectly in these roles. They really downplayed the brothers, and I think that's really terrible. I get that the movie is about Michael and his experiences, but I'm sure he loves somebody in his family. He loves somebody. And if they're gonna make a part 2, I know him and Latoya fell out. How are you gonna do that if you don't make them closer? Tell the story. Just they really downplayed the Jackson 5. That's a big part of his life. That's what he did. So I know you can't tell the whole thing. So that is my 2 cents. I mean, I could say more. Oh, please don't tell me I have stuff on my face the whole time. Yeah, but at the same time, like, you know what I mean? It's his story. You know? I know his brothers talked a lot about girls, so Marlon didn't want to play with him because he had a date. And then some other, I think it was Randy, talked about he got to take care of the family. But you at home. Like, I get it. That's something siblings would say and do. They didn't want to play Twister with him. But it's like, I'm sure he had good days. You know? So, I just, they needed more lines. I'm sure they talked about real stuff, about the tour, about personal stuff that both of them were going through. So, yeah, but they could have. They could have. That's what I think. I do know there were scenes that were cut. Oh, you know what else I liked? I liked the Gladys Knight scene. I like that scene. But I am going to get out of here. I appreciate everyone. I always appreciate when you support my lives. And before I get out of here, I have a Kickstarter campaign. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I have a Kickstarter campaign. You can donate to my campaign. You can back my campaign for any amount of money. You can pledge. Pledging doesn't mean you're actually paying. Pledging means that when the day comes for you to donate, you can, or you will, or you'll try to. So you click on the pledge. You can pledge anything from $1 to $20,000. Okay, so you can pledge at any amount. You can pledge with rewards or without. So with rewards means you'll get an early copy. I have a code, so excuse me. You'll get an early copy. I don't know who that is. That name is not ringing a bell right now, but if I remember, I'll let you know. So you can pledge a reward, meaning you can get an early copy of my new album, or excuse me, you can get that and some behind the scenes pictures. Or for the next reward, which is a little expensive, you get personal live streams. So you will be getting live streams anyway, but you'll get the live streams that are specifically for people who donated. So I'm on Kickstarter. The link is in the description. When this video is no longer live and it's up there, you'll see it. So please donate to my Kickstarter campaign. I have a few pledges, but please pledge your amount. You can pledge with or without a reward. You can pledge anything from $1,000 to $20,000 or $100,000 or $1 million, right? But you can pledge any amount with or without a reward. I suggest a $25 tier if you just want an early copy of the album. All right? Thank you so much. I appreciate that so much right now because I'm going to the dentist tomorrow and I don't even want to go. Yeah, you could pledge 1 million. You ain't know that? I always say, if you can pledge 1 million, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what I always say. Yeah, but you can pledge $1, you can pledge $10, $100, $1,000. So, you can pledge. It's also in the link in my bio on Instagram because I know we're on Instagram. All right. So I'll talk to you soon and say hi to your family. Bye, everyone. Ooh, y'all don't want to leave. But I think it's better for the video if I leave. Good night.